So welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be predicting all the results from the final day of the Championship. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with West Brom versus Preston. Now West Brom need to win in order to get playoffs, and I think they are going to. Neither side really in any good form. Preston look like they're slightly on the beach, and West Brom have to go for it. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but being at the Hawthorns will obviously give them that little bit of an edge. As I say, West Brom, they need this. It will be a bit of a disappointment because they've been up in the playoffs all season. They've been fantastic. They've been ranked outside, but they've been up there fighting all year round. And to them to just lose on the final day will be a tough one for them to take. But I do think they are going to just about scrape it. I am going to go with a 2-1 home win that will see the Baggies into the playoffs. Over to Portman Road, where Ipswich need a point to secure promotion and get a back-to-back promotion for what feels like a real good Ipswich side, and they deserved it. I think Kieran McKenna's done a fantastic job there, and obviously they take on a pretty much relegated Huddersfield side that, from what I can read online, they do want Ipswich to get promoted if it means them getting relegated, as they've pretty much accepted that and obviously don't want local rivals Leeds to get promoted. I think it's going to be a fairly comfortable one for Ipswich. I think that they're a fantastic side. I think that they are a brilliant club that deserves to be in the Premier League, and if they were to do it on their own patch, will be fantastic to see. And from what I can see online, they weren't too happy with the way they celebrated it last year, so hopefully something they can make up for this time around. I definitely think they will. I am going to go with a comfortable 3-0 win to Ipswich that will see them into the Premier League. So next up, we're at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland take on Sheffield Wednesday. And for Sheffield Wednesday, survival is all but confirmed. They've been fantastic in this back part of the season. Their last 5 matches have been a bit up and down, but I think they are safe. I can't see all the teams below them picking up enough points to see them drop into the relegation zone. So I think we could be seeing Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship for at least another season. As for Sunderland, it's not been a fantastic year for them, but it will be much to build off of next season, as there were some parts this year that I liked from them, but obviously it hasn't been a great one overall, and they will need to regroup in the summer. But this is all about Sheffield Wednesday. I think they're going to get a point here. They're going to be setting them for the draw. Sunderland, I don't think they'll be throwing too much at it, as I say, they've got not a lot to play for. So I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. Over to Home Park now, where Plymouth take on Hull City. Plymouth come into this game with 2 losses in their last 2 matches. And these two sides do have something to play for, but at opposite ends of the table. Plymouth obviously need 3 points here to ensure safety. And as for Hull, any but 3 points would mean that playoffs are out of the equation. Now for me, I think Hull are going to edge it here. They've looked alright despite being counted out not too long ago of the playoff running. Some results have gone their way and they've picked things up, and it's seen it come down to the very last game of the season. It's completely the opposite for Plymouth, because at one point they seemed very safe. Not a lot was going to happen to them. We all thought they were just going to be mid-table and have a very good season, but they've dropped off, and it looks like their position in the Championship is in jeopardy. I think they're going to lose this one narrowly. I'm going to go with a 1-0 away win, and it will see Plymouth have to rely on results elsewhere to keep them in the league. Over to Leicester versus Blackburn. While Leicester have had the title all wrapped up, they're not playing for anything on this final day but their pride. Blackburn, obviously they need to get something from this game to get survival. And I think it's going to be a party atmosphere in the King Power. I'm not sure how much training the players have been doing recently, so I think Blackburn do have a chance of getting a point here. And I think they are going to get a point from this game. As I say, I think Leicester are going to just be taking their foot right off the gas, enjoying the derby, a fantastic atmosphere at the King Power. It's always nice when you've got a home game left to spare to enjoy the occasion. I think that's what Leicester are going to do here. I believe it's going to be a 1-0 draw, because I think both sides are just going to be happy with the point. So over to Ellen Road now, on the penultimate game of this prediction video, where Leeds take on Southampton. The circumstance for Leeds is they need to win and hope Ipswich lose against local rivals Huddersfield for them to be guaranteed in the Premier League. Obviously they can get promoted via the playoffs, but no one really wants to be doing that. As for Southampton, 3 losses from their last 3 put an end to their hopes of being automatically promoted, and attention does turn to the playoffs. For them, I think it's got to the point now where they can't just afford to rest players up. They need to get some sort of momentum going into the playoffs, as that's all it really is, the playoffs. It's 2 games or it could potentially be 2 games, where you've got to be right at the top of it because you're playing some top sides. And if you come into this game with no momentum, you can see yourselves quickly exiting the opportunity to be into the Premier League. As for Leeds, they will want a win here regardless for the same reasons. Obviously, Premier League is the hope, but if they were to lose here, it gives Southampton momentum going into the playoffs, and it all makes things a little bit more complicated going into those pivotal matches. And for me, I do think that Leeds are going to get the job done here. I think it's going to be a narrow win, but a lot of goals in it, as I can see both sides really going for it. So I'm going to go with a 3-2 home win, but I don't think it's going to be enough to see them promoted to the Premier League. So finally, at St Andrews, where Birmingham host Norwich, and in this game, both teams are fighting for something very similar to the Plymouth versus Hull game. One team wants the playoffs, one team wants to survive. And Birmingham, it's karma really. John Eustace did a fantastic job there at the start of the season. They sacked him, and you know they say be careful what you wish for. And they're staring down the barrel of League One football next season. As for Norwich, at one point they looked like it was going to be mid-table, but they've managed to fight back, and they definitely do deserve to be playing in the Premier League next season with the way that they have shown their character since January. For me, I think Norwich are going to win this game fairly comfortably. I think Birmingham just going to huff and puff and not a lot's going to come out. Despite being at St Andrews, it seems a real hostile atmosphere there, so it's not a place that feels like a fortress. I'm hoping for Birmingham that the fans do realise what this occasion is, and they need to get behind their players, because it will be a terrible season to be a Birmingham fan watching local rivals Aston Villa potentially get into the Champions League while you are in League One. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win that would see Birmingham get relegated, but it's all to play for on the final day. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments below. I'll thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.